Good afternoon and welcome to this Cronkite News Noon Update. I'm Carrie Adams. Thanks for joining us. This bill stems from the case of Dina Galassini, a Fountain Hills resident who was trying to organize a gathering to oppose a local bond issue. But she was told she needed to register for a political committee in order to do so. And so is the Arizona Pharmacy Association. They say they already have different healthcare boards looking into the issue and are encouraging more pharmacists to use the database. In Phoenix, I'm Carrie Adams, Cronkite News.
Reporter Carrie Adams joins us with more on one effort underway so more kids can shape up and slim down.
Soon, Arizona's Department of Education will take a closer look at new physical education requirements, an effort PE teachers say is overdue. As the bill continues to move through the legislative process, Dina Galassini is doing her part, continuing to fight in court to protect free speech. Carrie Adams, Cronkite News. And the Super Bowl was just the beginning. Next up for Phoenix and the Valley is the College Football National Championship next year and the Final Four in 2017. In the meantime, there's work to be done. Good afternoon and welcome to this Cronkite News Update. I'm Carrie Adams. Here's a look at today's top stories.
People who suffer from arrhythmia and irregular heartbeat and are high risk to stroke may be able to replace their blood thinners. It's thanks to a new FDA approval. Cronkite News reporter Carrie Adams went to the Arizona Heart Association and to check on that device. Carrie?
Thanks, Macon. The Watchman left atrial appendage closure device has undergone clinical testing at the Arizona Heart Hospital for more than 8 years. So far, about 4,000 patients worldwide now have the device. You're looking at diagnostic images of a beating heart. One that beats too fast or too slow can be steadied by blood thinners. Barbara Yerk was on them for years.
Everything you take, every pill you take has a side effect.
But Barbara became the 100th patient to receive the new Watchman device, and she embraced her chance to get off blood thinners.
So I felt extremely lucky and very happy.
What this device does, it seals off the area called the left atrial appendage, where almost all of the clots form. And by sealing it off, we would prevent strokes without giving people blood thinners.
According to Dr. Vijay Swarup, the results of this study have been dramatic.
There were 30% less strokes in the Watchman arm where they got the device as compared to the stroke rates when they were on warfarin or Coumadin. So not only did it work better, it was superior in all respects.
This surgery is considered minimally invasive and takes less than an hour to implant.
For patients, it gives them a non-surgical option to treat the appendage in a quick cath lab procedure that they go home the next day and can get off Coumadin, off the blood thinners, and be much lower risk of problems down the road.
And it's still providing a huge relief to one of its earliest patients.
I didn't have the fear of a stroke because if I did have produced the blood clot, I have the device to help me from stroke.
Reporter Carrie Adams was at a rally and spoke with LGBTQ advocates. Carrie?
Thanks. The rain certainly did not stop this group as they gathered outside the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office downtown, chanting and demanding the release of Nicole Hernandez Polanco, a Guatemalan transgender woman. About 20 protesters gathered along Central Avenue, part of a national effort this week to advocate for the rights of transgenders in federal custody.
Here we are today in front of the ICE offices to demand that ICE release our friend and transgender Guatemalan woman, Nicole Hernandez Polanco, from detention.
Supporters will protest across the country this week in Washington, Los Angeles, New York, and here in Phoenix. The concern? Transgenders like Hernandez Polanco don't deserve to be in custody, let alone face mistreatment once inside.
Nicole presented herself at a port of entry seeking asylum because she's fleeing violence and persecution, and so she wanted to come to the U.S. to live a life free of transphobia and homophobia, and that's what she's finding in detention.
We are tired of being treated inhumanely.
Victoria Viola says she too was a transgender ICE detainee and experienced mistreatment in an all-male detention center.
In detention center was neglected hormones. or refused to be given hormones. I was also misgendered and discriminated by the guards, not only for my undocumented status, but as well as for my gender identity.
Late today, Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office emailed us this statement, which reads in part, U.S. ICE is firmly committed to providing for the safety and welfare of all of those in its custody. ICE has a zero-tolerance policy for any kind of abusive or inappropriate behavior in its facilities and takes any allegations of such mistreatment very seriously. Live in the Media Center, I'm Carrie Adams, Cronkite News. Live in downtown Phoenix, I'm Carrie Adams, Cronkite News. We'll see you tonight at 5 on Arizona PBS 8 HD.